Saf Malik, Deputy Editor at Capacity. We are live at Mobile World Congress 2026, and today I'm joined by Glenn Katz, who's the Chief Commercial Officer at Telesat, to talk about the company's next generation low Earth orbit network, Telesat Lightspeed, and how satellite is moving from a niche connectivity option to a transformative part of future telecom architectures. It's a shift that gives operators powerful new strategic capability to spark growth and expand what's possible in their networks. Glenn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
As operators evolve their network towards more intelligent cloud-driven infrastructures, how does Telesat Lightspeed enhance that transformation and help telcos scale efficiently?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question because that is what's happening now. And for telcos, the biggest challenge they have is trying to have their fiber type connectivity with low latency and resiliency to every single location that they have service. And today you can't do that. And so there are these, and people call them digital deserts, if you want to think of it that way. And if you think of driving down towards that AI, compute edge, everything else associated with that, or trying to work applications back at the cloud, you need to be able to reach those, and you can't do it today. And if you tried to do it today over legacy geostationary satellites, you have a fundamental problem, and that is latency. So LEO systems by definition are much lower to the Earth, low Earth orbit, so that latency problem goes away. And then the cost of a bit, or the cost of the service going out to those locations, as well as the amount of bandwidth you can provide, is much better than traditional satellite geo services. When you put that together and you're able to interoperate with a telco, then they can extend their network and get everything that they need to all their locations anywhere in the world. And that's fundamental. That's a game changer as far as we're concerned for the telcos.
And what makes Telesat Lightspeed fundamentally different for telecom operators compared to competitive LEO networks?
Yeah, so there's not 1,000 LEO providers like there's thousands of telcos. There's a handful because it's complicated and it's very it costs a fair amount of money to build a network. But with that said, when you look at I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on this question so that it becomes relevant to the conversation. If you look at the telco industry around the world, here we are at MWC, all the telcos are here, right? They have different types of products for different types of use cases. So they have residential broadband, best effort, layer 3. They have business internet, also layer 3 with a little bit better quality of service maybe. Then they have what's called carrier Ethernet, fiber services. You might hear it as fiber services, but it's a protocol. And it gives guaranteed SLAs and guaranteed reliability and guaranteed committed information rate. It does all of that. And that's used for very special purposes. Now, to what I said before, if you're a telco, you still, where you can try to drive fiber, you're going to do it even if you don't own that last mile. So what the telcos did is they got together years ago and they created the Metro Ethernet Foundation. And they created interoperable standards for both what they call their underlay, how they physically connect networks, and then how they order from each other to do it in an automated fashion so that they're completely interoperable, so that the end user customer doesn't know that they may be getting service from some other telco at the last mile, but the network itself and the connectivity to wherever they need to go, whether it's the cloud or some compute edge, that's being handled by the telco. Okay, so with that, you're starting to see an evolution of satellite services in the LEO world that have those different sets of attributes. So what do I mean by that, to be very specific? Starlink, great service, but it's a best effort layer 3 service because it's designed for the billions of people that don't have internet today. And that's its primary focus. When you look at the other half of the market, it's really enterprise, it's aviation, it's maritime, it's government. They want carrier Ethernet services. They want layer 2 guaranteed carrier Ethernet services. So that's what we're providing. So that's how we completely differentiate. We are not a consumer company. Anyone out there can consider us just an extension of a terrestrial or a telco's layer 2 carrier Ethernet in space. Or another way to put it, we'll be the last mile for telcos in areas where they can't build their own fiber. They could do it over our LEO network. Now, What makes us very different, that's one. The second thing is if you're going to do that, and you really want to scale your own business and really work with the telcos, you have to abide by the standards that they all work through. It goes back to that Metro Ethernet Foundation and that MEF 3.0 set of standards for interoperability between carriers' networks. We are one of those. We become a carrier in space for them. So we become completely interoperable when it comes to our interface to them technically, how their engineers would connect end user devices, and also how they would configure devices, order, provision, do their own billing, do their own customer service. We follow all of the interfaces that they're used to with everyone else. So we become interoperable. That's the second differentiator from the Starlinks of the world and the Amazon Leos and the Eaglesat OneWebs, completely. And then the third attribute that I think is different is that the model we put forward to them, the economic model, the business model, is a virtual network operator model. So they do what they do best. We're going to give them capacity. They buy capacity, and then they take that capacity and they do with it whatever they want. They can create layer 2 services. They can build layer 3 services. They can change those services over time because the backbone is a complete layer 2 network. So we basically just become an extension of the network, and that's fundamental, and that's how we differ ourselves from them. And we don't go direct to any of our customers. We are the wholesale, the carrier's carrier to the telcos. We let them do what they do best. That's a big difference.
And where at MWC, you see AI everywhere. So I cannot not ask you a question about AI. What role is Telesat Lightspeed playing in enabling AI-powered services and real-time analytics?
So that's a big question. So I'll try to maybe give a subtle, concise answer. So there's AI, like we have Copilot that you can design things, but the real AI and the real push is autonomy, autonomous decision-making and all of that. Could be for anything. Could be for traffic modeling, could be for network operations. There's a surge in some area for whatever reason, natural disaster, unnatural disaster, and you need bandwidth on demand. And human beings, it takes a long time. So you want agents, AI-related agents, to be able to do that. But when you have those control systems, even just thinking of a traffic control system or something else, you need super reliable communication. So in most of those situations, clearly, the primary connectivity would be terrestrial fiber or something like that. Not a best effort internet connection, even if it's terrestrial. But to have full reliability of that network, you'd want something that's completely diverse from that network. And that's where someone like Telesat and our LEO capability can come in and act as a phenomenal backup for those fiber-based systems. And we're 100% diverse because we don't touch anything terrestrially, right? We go from space down to one other location. And so I think that's where we play for the AI. Two things that even before, we will extend the carrier's network to a location where they may need to use AI engines, but they just don't have their own connectivity there. And then even in their core network, we can act as a backup to them because we have high bandwidth, low latency, and we offer the exact same service level agreements that they are used to for this carrier Ethernet type of technology. That's where we see our role.
Thank you for joining us, Glenn.
Thank you.
It was great to catch up with Glenn, and if you want to learn more about integrating LEO connectivity to extend reach and unlock new growth, be sure to check out Telesat and Capacity's new white paper on capacityglobal.com.